Welcome to the CMSA Showcase, a podcast highlighting the amazing events put on by clubs in the Cowboy Mounted Shooting Association. Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of the CMSA Showcase. Today, Dee and I are going to be talking to the East Coast Outlaws, and we have two of the East Coast Outlaws on with us. Introduce yourselves, tell us how long you've been shooting, your roles on the board, how long you've served on the board, all of that good information.
So I'm Paul Treese, and this is my beautiful wife, Jen. We've been president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, board members, all of the above, do it all type people, with a really good support group behind us. And we've had East Coast Outlaws since 2019. We started the club from scratch with just kind of a push from a bunch of local shooters wanting to be able to shoot at a specific arena that we had a big part in. We started 2019, and we know what 2020 brought. 2020 was COVID-19. We had started the club in the fall, and with a first scheduled shoot in April, super excited for it. Went out, bought a set of automatic balloon machines, the whole nine yards. Like, we really put a lot into getting the club going, and then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, COVID hits, and shoots are canceled because everything's canceled, unfortunately. And the facility where we were at did a really good job working with the local government and everything to get every stuff opened back up, basically. Moved from that red to yellow, green light type stuff. And we were able to reschedule our April date to May, and had an absolutely fantastic breakout shoot for us to start everything off, which was pretty darn cool, fun to be able to do.
What area of the country does your club serve, and how many members do you have?
We are the Northeast region, and our club is from Maine to Pennsylvania. I think we go out to New Jersey, and I just counted for the 2025 year, we had 85 members. Some of those members do not shoot, but they love to participate in what we do and support us.
You said that you started the club for your area. What did you do for shooting before that? Because you obviously shot before, right?
We shot with a few other clubs. There are other clubs in PA. There's the Keystone Cowboys and Steeltown Gunslingers. So they've always been clubs in PA, and people just asking us for something a little bit different that they wanted to see. And we, Jen and I looked at each other, and, well, I looked at her and she thought I was crazy, but that's how a lot of things get started in this household. We just decided, let's do it. Like, let's go forward. Let's do it. Let's try. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, we're going to figure out how to make it work. And that's just kind of how we do everything. If something doesn't work, let's figure out how to make it work. And we've been 6 years at doing that and having fun with it.
And people wanted more shoots, and we wanted to teach people in our area to grow the sport, so we didn't have to travel so far, because we would have to go to Ohio to get qualified wins, and that's like a 5-6 hour drive for us. And we kind of looked at each other like, we can do this here. We have a big barrel racing clientele, I could say, but people were really interested in learning, so that's kind of got us started. We wanted to grow it here.
Yeah, and we wanted to grow from kind of grassroots. Like, there's a lot of local shooters that have been shooters for a while, but we really wanted to grow grassroots style. So bringing in new shooters and creating, no matter what, figuring like, okay, we don't have to draw from other states if other states are having events. Let's be able to have good quality shoots with potentials for lots of qualified wins with our grassroots type of growth. And then when people do come in from out of the area, it's just more shooters, more possible qualified wins, better payouts, which equal better awards, all that stuff. And actually, this past weekend, we just I think we awarded six total move ups, just this 5 or 6 total move ups just this weekend at our weekend shoot, which is pretty cool. And one of the move ups was a men's 5 to a men's 6, which is always a special type move up because that's a lot of work to get there.
And it's really cool to sit up when you're writing times to look down and see all your shooters that you've brought along. They're all down there. And I've had some friends that are in like Western PA and they come to our shoot and she said, I don't know any of these people. I said, I know, we're bringing them along. And that's really cool. We're proud of that.
Yeah, it's exciting. I processed the points from your shoot this last weekend and saw all the wins and move ups. I think you had one in your family as well.
We did, yes. Yeah, our daughter, this is her first full season of shooting, and she went from, as crazy as this sounds, ladies 3 to ladies 4, which is pretty darn cool if I can say so.
And she just turned
It's
13.
really cool. Yeah, and I was gonna say she grew up in the Wrangler program and both your girls have been laying down some smoking runs and doing awesome in the sport for a long time. So that's neat.
Yeah, and Jen's got here. See if
she brought this home, not me. I don't know if I can.
Oh yeah.
So I told Jen, I said, you're gonna have to write George's name on that because that wasn't your overall cowgirl on that one.
Yeah, we write our name and the horse's name on the back of our buckles because sometimes we come home with 8 buckles in a weekend. It's a lot.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Can you tell us about your Back the Paws fundraiser that you do? That's a really neat event and probably one of your biggest ones that you put on.
Yeah, so the Back the Paws, Jen had the idea of it the other year. Just contacted our local Union County Sheriff's Office. They have a canine that they were in the process of bringing over here. So bringing over from another country, putting it through the schooling in South Carolina and all that stuff. Deputy Dustin Heiser actually showed up at our event. He's been to all of the canine events so far that we've put on and brought Canine Eddie along with him. Canine Eddie is friendly as ever. But Jen had this idea to do this Back Paws, which was really cool. So we put together an event where we're doing fundraising and everything for Canine Eddie. Canine Eddie is not funded by any local government. So it's not funded by the county, any local governments of any sort. It's all volunteers or people just donating their own personal money or time to afford the expenses of this canine. So Jen was like, let's see what we can do to help. And last year, I believe last year we raised almost $3,000, and this year we're gonna be able to donate $3,000 again with the generosity of our shooters, and everything. So Jen will tell you a little bit about. She organizes all the fun stuff at our events, so she'll tell you a little bit about some of the fun things that happen during the canine event.
So we set up a bunch of silent auction items. A lot of people donated things. They made baskets, like a movie basket. I made a margarita basket because that always seems to do well. We always like to bring in a live band for the afternoon. And Canine Eddie and Deputy Dustin, they come in and they do a little demonstration. He said when he gets out the biting mitt, the Eddie knows that it's business and he gets really excited because he knows what's coming. And this past year, he's actually had some takedowns out in the wild around here, chasing people through the woods. And someone asked them, how does the dog know like who to get? And he says, it's the adrenaline, that the dog can smell it. So they came out and they did a demonstration. And then one of our members, he volunteered with a lot of encouragement that he took a bite. He had the mitt on his arm, but he did take a bite, and that was really cool. And he tells the dog, I don't know what the command is, but the dog will just let go and sit. It's really amazing.
I bet the kids love that.
Oh, yes, they do. Everybody does. It's quite the show. The power and strength of the dog. Because when the dog latches on, it really throws you around. So it's pretty cool.
That's really neat. How long in advance do you start planning for these events? And what kind of things do you have to do ahead of the events to put them together? Obviously, with the two of you, you've got to recruit some other help, but I'm sure you do most of the work.
We are big, well, Jen especially is a big planner aheader. Um, she's always planning vacations, whatever it is, years in advance, it seems. Um, so she likes to have everything kind of humming along nicely. Right now, we're planning Back the Paws for April. Um, we're just planning some of the stuff. We have our club earned the right for the Northeast region and the PA state shoots next year. So we're already putting together just whatever we can for those. It's whatever comes to our minds and we want to do. We kind of just let that let that spur along.
Yeah, I kind of start. It takes me maybe a year. I start thinking about what awards I want to get. I've actually already purchased some for our states in October next year. When I see something I like it, I'm gonna buy it for the event. I already have the band is coming back again next year. He loves to come out and see the dog too. But I am definitely a type A, and I like to make lists and follow them and keep everything in track and in line. I do all of the paperwork for ECO. Well, at the beginning of the shoot, Paul takes over at the end doing all the accounting stuff, but I do all of the social media, all the posts. All of that is me.
And then we have two families in particular. The newcomer family, they've been a huge help past 2+ seasons, especially the last 2 seasons. Huge help with getting us to an outdoor facility that we can use most of the summer, and getting that kind of revamped and everything at the fairgrounds. And then also Kevin and Ann Sloan have always been from day one. Kevin Sloan himself actually flew to Arizona to meet with the gentleman that builds the automatic balloon machines and learn how to use them, and then drove down to Sam Helms's place. Sam brought him back from Arizona for us that winter. Drove down to Sam's with me and back all in like a 14-15 hour trip just to get those balloon machines. So Kevin's been a huge part. He's my balloon machine arena guy. Can't do it. Definitely can't do the shoots without. I mean, I could do them without him, but it would be a lot of work on me. And we appreciate both the Sloans and the newcomers, and we have a lot of other behind the scenes people that announcing, and it takes an army. You all know when you put on a shoot, it takes an army, and we have people that really truly want to help. And I think that's key, is people that want to help put the shoot on and make it successful.
Yeah, we have about 20 volunteers that are amazing that I can always count on to fill in for anything, really.
What are some of your most important priorities at your events? I know that your event's really successful. It was all over social media this weekend. I was following along, and I've never even been to one of your shoots before. So what are some of the priorities? What are the things that you focus on to make sure that the event goes well?
Our biggest thing, and we've been saying this for a while, is no matter what, and we'll get into some of the detailed things, but truly, no matter what, our goal is for every shooter to leave our shoot with a smile on their face, no matter how they shot in the arena. If they leave with a smile and they had fun, they will come back no matter how they did for the weekend. So that's truly the biggest thing. That's honestly the biggest thing, because we all do this for fun. Nobody's making a living. Very few of us, very few people, I shouldn't even say us, I'm not. Very few people are and can make a living at this sport right now. Someday I'm sure that will change in time. It always does, but right now it's fun. And if it stays fun, that's truly what matters. Even if people do start making a living, as long as it stays fun, it's going to be something people want to do. But beyond that, my personal focus is always the ground, the dirt. If you have to have safe dirt. I personally have a horse that is a monster in the arena, and if the dirt's not good, she lets me know. So safe dirt is extremely important to me. And I have a lot of friends, a lot of upper level shooters I know that if the dirt's not safe, they really are scared to really let their horses run the way they want to run. So for me, being the arena guy and the muscle at the events, for me, the dirt is a very important thing. I work tirelessly to make sure that dirt's as perfect as I can possibly have it.
For me,
Yeah, for you.
it's footing and fun. That's what we say.
Footing and fun. There you go.
And it sounds like, Jen, you're responsible for organizing all of the fun with the band and the dog demonstrations.
Yep, we always have something going on. We've done after the shoot, we all like to hang out. We've done line dancing. I've gotten inflatable slides. That's been fun. What else?
Oh my gosh.
We do, of course, cornhole and
potluck.
Potluck. Potluck is huge at our shoots. Everybody, people they turn out on the potluck. It's crazy.
It's more than just a shoot. It's like it's an event.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole weekend is nothing. You don't have a chance to really take a break. I leave the shoots exhausted. I feel like I work during the week to take a break from the shoots. And then I go back and have fun all weekend long again.
You've been doing this a while now. You've done it. You've organized quite a few shoots. You must have made some mistakes. And what have you learned from them?
Running a shoot, you make 40 mistakes an hour, it seems like, and you just as long as you adjust so they don't compound into anything major.
We try to limit mistakes. Say for our range master, I have a quick sheet for them, like just the penalties of the ones that are mostly called, so they can look at that and refer to it, because we really don't want to have any mistakes. We've had it before where I put like the wrong divisional person winner. And so I'm not in charge of that anymore. I let Paul do that. I don't want to make that mistake again and upset somebody. So we try, and my sister is a huge help. We have not even mentioned her.
Yeah.
She is not a horse person, but she comes religiously to all of our shoots. She sits in that office. She helps check people in, and she will do the computer all day. And we try very, very hard to not make any mistakes with times. And she's really good at keeping us on track. So we owe a lot of that to her.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to mention Aunt Christine. Everybody just calls her Aunt Christine.
Auntie Christine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Another way to help limit mistakes, like I know we've all had electronics, timers, balloon machines, whatever it might be. Those are all something that is really, you can't control them. They're electronics. If they don't want to work, they decide not to work. So we just purchased new timers and everything, and I bought 2 timer boxes. That way, we have a backup. So we stack one on top of the other. If the first timer battery dies, whatever it might be, we don't catch it. There's always a second timer there to collect times. We got that new penalty system with a remote. That way those are nice. Yeah. And we actually have 2 boxes up in our tower. So we have one box for the announcer, so he can see what the penalties might be. And then we have another box for the scorekeepers, so they can see. So 2 boxes up there. So it's not, nobody's leaning over each other. And with the balloon machines, just making sure they're always, Kevin does a good job during the winter, kind of tuning them up, and just making sure they're ready to hum along. But electronics are tough, and anything you can do to kind of keep a repetitive issue from happening is key.
You mentioned the other clubs in Pennsylvania, and you guys have this last year worked together to do a series. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that was kind of a cool thing. That was brought about as a series for the 3 clubs. So Steeltown Gunslingers in Western PA, Keystone Cowboys in the central part, and then East Coast Outlaws were kind of like Central East. Kind of all worked together. Every club had 2 shoots per club, so it was a total of 6 shoots that were pointed for the actual Pennsylvania Elite Series. And we called it the Elite Series because, I mean, it's an elite thing to be able to accomplish, traveling to all those events, back and forth across the state, and getting to the pointed events so that you could score points for that. It was a really cool series. A lot of people turned out for the events, and it's just something neat to be able to, within a state, work with the clubs within your state so well, and be able to help, at the end of the day, just help grow the sport. It's helping clubs grow. It's helping people want to come out, more potential awards for people. It's really a cool thing.
I thought it was really cool that you guys ran your own events the way you wanted to run your events, and everybody was responsible for their own thing, but the awards were combined. It just encouraged people to participate together and go to all of them. It was great. I loved hearing about that.
Absolutely.
You also did buckles for babies. And
oh yeah,
can you talk about that? Because that's something that we don't hear a lot about across the country, and it's a really cool thing.
Yeah. So
before we started that, when Paul and I were showing horses, we always loved to have a charity horse bringing along in the quarter. We did quarter horse pleasure, and so that was really enjoyable to see from the beginning to the end what you can accomplish. And I don't know, did I decide 2 years ago?
Yep.
I decided 2 years ago. I said, I want to do this. And Paul said, okay. And I think, if I can remember, last year we had about 5 horses. And I think, oh my gosh.
We did just for charity horses last year. There were a little more than 5. I think there were like 7 or 8 between the non-pro and the open, 7 or 8 total, which is pretty good. And then this year we decided to add Derby horses to it, which allows us to give the 5 and 6-year-olds a chance, which upped the entries again. And everybody that comes out absolutely loves it. So buckles for babies, we call them our babies. They're all our babies, even when they're 13, 14 years old. But the young ones, the for charity and Derby horses, and do buckles for open and non-pro in both for charity and Derby. Split that apart, just gives the non-pros a chance to run against their own caliber of riders. And they absolutely love it. We're going to do it again in 2026. It's something that we'll keep really pushing forward with. I personally, I love working with the babies. Like Jen said, they're very rewarding to do that process with. And Georgia, our 13-year-old, is actually following in our footsteps now, because she did a futurity horse this past year, 12 years old, whole process on her own, a futurity horse. And he's actually he's still here at the farm, but he has a new owner, a young girl that she just shot this past weekend, doing phenomenal on him. And Georgia got home from Tennessee, and mine and her butt drove to Southern Ohio to pick up a 3-year-old for her. So she's back at it again. So look out, CMSA. She'll probably be open. I better look out.
Right,
by the time we get to Tennessee.
And is that one event, or is that across multiple events? Is it one shoot that's the buckles for babies, or is it you're collecting points across multiple shoots?
Yep, that's just a 1-day event that we do.
Yeah, that's the buckles for babies is just a 1-day. We do it on Saturday at our late August event. We are in the works for joining another neat futurity, I guess you could call it, series, with another set of shooters in North Carolina coming up here, hopefully this coming year. We're in works on that and the details and everything, but that's going to be hopefully a big growth for the East Coast and moving forward, given people, we work so hard with these futurity and Derby horses. And you want to showcase them. You really, really want to showcase these horses and get a chance to be like, hey, look at what this horse can do. Look at what, I personally, the person that's riding it, look at what I can do with my horse. And the more events you get to, you can take them to a regular shoot, and that's great. But having that futurity or Derby specific class to run in and running against horses at the same age and same level is really a cool thing. And being able to really grow that as a potential series moving forward. Won't be called buckles for babies. It'll be something else, but we'll still have our shoot, but joining that series also will be a really cool thing moving forward for these young horses.
I just love that you talked about how you brought people into the sport and developed the people there, but bringing the horses too is huge. That's cool.
You talked about developing this series for the babies. What other plans do you have for the club generally in terms of growing the club, new events?
We are just thinking about now what we're going to do this fall and winter. We've already had people reach out that want to start learning. So I said we got to look at the calendar and get some dates and get rolling. We would really like to get about 10 riders to work with all winter long. That's kind of my goal, is to get them going along, and the ones that want to learn and want to keep with it, because it's hard work. And usually when it becomes hard work, people want to quit. So we are fortunate enough to have an indoor, and fortunate enough that we got it insulated and heated. So we will be able to work all winter long with people. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Jen said the key thing right there is when it becomes hard, and this is human nature, when something becomes hard, humans quit. It's easier to walk away than it is to put the work in and then probably embarrass the crap out of yourself every once in a while. I really enjoy excitedly pushing people to become better riders. There's so many young riders, not even young riders. We'll call them the senior riders that came to us in the last couple of years, and there's two in particular, Todd and Sherry. They won't mind that I shout them out here. Sherry brought Todd, who was her boyfriend at the time, and I always ask my new shooters that are coming to clinics, what's your background? What's your experience? And Sherry said, I've walked and trotted on trails. I'm like, okay, I can work with that. It's a start. And Todd looked at me with his longer hair. And he said, I've ridden one time. And I was like, oh boy. To say that they are phenomenal shooters now is an understatement. Sherry just did a futurity horse this past year, did most of that process either by herself or just with some guidance from her trainer, Nola. And it was a Mustang too. So as much more of work that becomes with it. And Todd is a senior men's four that just won the senior overall cowboy this past weekend.
Do you have any advice maybe along those lines, maybe to other clubs or someone who wanted to start a club, or even with existing clubs that are struggling and going through things? Do you have any advice that you would offer?
Yeah, this isn't hard. It's a lot of work, but it's not hard. It's not rocket science. Even though I have a rocket scientist that runs my balloon machines for me, it's not rocket science. Work hard. Just work hard at trying your best to put on the best possible chute, best possible footing, best possible arena, best possible stalls, shavings, water for the horses.
Good music.
Good music. Good music. Good music keeps a chute going. An announcer that is excited to be there. Have somebody that wants to announce. Have people that want to do the work and want to do the jobs and want to help. But more than anything, I think all us shooters can say is we just want the people putting on chutes, and this is anything. I go to the garage to get my oil changed. I just want somebody to try their best, try their hardest, try their best. And if you see that somebody's trying their best and they're struggling, even if they are struggling, we will all give them grace. Everybody deserves a little bit of grace. And then if somebody asks for help, I will always offer help no matter where I'm at. But if somebody asks for help, give them help. Don't criticize. Don't get too far into that. Give them help if they're willing to take it. Some people aren't. Some people are. I know that there's a new club, not a new club, but a club that's kind of changing some hands in Ohio, and the new people that are going to be running it looked at me. They came to our shoot and they said, "Well, what do you suggest?" And I just told them, I said, "Just work hard, try your best, do whatever you can, take advice, take criticism, constructive criticism for people." Try to implement it. If it doesn't work, just say to them, I tried, it's not working. I'll try again. Just work hard. That's the biggest thing.
We all do this for fun. So make sure there's fun involved.
Yeah.
Agreed. And we can feel your passion for what you do from here. So thank you so much for sharing that passion. Thank you so much for sharing all of your experiences with us today. We so appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You can promote your business on the CMSA Showcase podcast while supporting a good cause. Send me an email at balloonkillers@gmail.com. That's balloonkillers, all one word, @gmail.com for more information.